Welcome and thank you for being with us here today to break ground on the long-awaited Westside Avenue Action Project, bringing much-needed safety, mobility, and infrastructure improvements to this historical stretch of road, a crossroads and a gateway to communities to the west and to the mountains, Garden of the Gods Park to the north, Red Rocks Park to the south, and downtown Colorado Springs to the east. I'd like to now introduce you to Jim Reed, Executive Director of the El Paso County Department of Public Works.
You know, about an hour ago, the wind was pretty calm. Unfortunately, Kansas sucks, and that's what's bringing it all this way. So, good morning, everyone. Let me start out by first acknowledging our elected officials and dignitaries. Commissioner Sally Clark, El Paso County Commissioner, District 3, and Chair of the Board of County Commissioners, as well as the immediate past President of NACO. You have to do this, Commissioner. Commissioner Peggy Littleton, where are you at? Good morning. Commissioner Mark Waller. City Council President and Board Chair, Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority, Mr. Merv Bennett. Okay. City Councilman Keith King. City Councilman Tom Strand, Mayor Nicoletta. Where's the mayor?
He's right here.
Okay, there you are. Good morning, Mayor. City Councilman Gary Smith, and El Paso County Sheriff Bill Elder. Good morning, Sheriff. Then from the City of Colorado Springs, we have Chief of Police Pete Carey. We have Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services Tops Manager Chris Lieber. And are there any other city staff here? We'd also like to announce Mr. Henry Yankowski, County Administrator for El Paso County. Good morning, sir. From Colorado Springs Utilities, CEO Jerry Forte. Good morning, Jerry. Elena Nunez, Adam Baker, Gail Connors, Rich Walker, and Wendy Miller. Can you all raise your hand? Thank you for being here today. From the City of Manitou Springs, Mark Schneider, Urban Renewal Authority, former mayor of Manitou Springs. Farley McDonough, Urban Renewal Authority, also owner of Adams Mountain Cafe. Chief of Police Joe Ribeiro, and other city staff. We also have Shelley Caboo, the Public Works Director. Where are you at, Shelley? Good morning. Jason Wells, City Administrator. Okay. Dave Watt, CDOT Region 2 Resident Engineer. Morning, Dave. Good to see you. Travis Waldrop, CDOT Region 2 Project Engineer. From the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments and Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority, Executive Director Rob McDonald, and Transportation Director Craig Casper. Colonel Tom Ryan of Peterson Air Force Base. Morning, sir. The Air Force Base Mission Support Group, representing the PPACG Board, and his wife, Carmen. Tim Viersba, representing PPACG Citizens Advisory Committee. That's Tom, sorry. Any other PPACG and PPRTA representatives? Can I get you to raise your hand? Hi, Jim. Recognize all the news media that have played the important role of keeping our citizens informed about the progress of the project, especially the Westside publications. Kenyon and Teresa Jordan, Westside Pioneer, Rhonda Van Pelt and Jean Devant, Pikes Peak Bulletin. And most important, the citizens, businesses, and property owners who have helped shepherd this project since the beginning. Please raise your hands and be recognized. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So let's talk about some quick facts about this project. First of all, the project is a $30 million project. And this project is being funded through the PPRTA, and it was a vote of the citizens. So it was voter approved project. So this is being done on behalf of the citizens' request. The construction duration is 24 months, 2 years. It'll start today and end December 2018. And I'm hoping to see you all back here when that project is done. I'm looking forward to it. The limits are from the intersection of 31st Street and Colorado Avenue, just east of US 24. Interchange. Fountain Creek improvements by the Garden of the Gods RV Resort and connection to the Midland Trail. Now, this was done with public input, and as a result of that, the configuration is intended to create a slow and social feel of the area, and that's important. Other things, now we have underground electric and storm sewer will occur, major upgrades to the old water and sanitary sewer systems, sidewalks with curbs and gutter on both sides of the road, bike lanes on both sides of the road, connection of the Midland Trail with the addition of a pedestrian bridge. And I'm glad it's slow, because me on a bike is slow, trust me. Then we talk about, yes, Commissioner Clark, street lighting. It will be consistent with the historic West Side character. There are also other improvements to Ridge Road improvements and Columbia Road and Adams Crossing improvements. And at this point, I'd like to bring Mel McFarland, an Adams Crossing historian, up.
Good morning. I think the General would be happy to see this crowd here. I am speaking of General Charles Adams. He originated development in this area. Over there, you'll notice a number of big dead trees and a few live ones in there too. That's where the General lived. He lived there from the 1880s until just before the turn of the 20th century. He died in a hotel fire up in Denver. He was the Indian agent for the federal government in Colorado, and one of his best known events was to settle with the Utes the incidents that happened up in Meeker. He worked with Chief Uray of the Utes, and they must have been good friends, because whenever possible, Chief Uray would visit with the General in his house over here. This is where the name Adams Crossing came from, because there was a small bridge just over Fountain Creek, down here about where the motel is. The main road from Colorado Springs to Manitou didn't follow present Manitou Boulevard. It followed El Paso. It came to Adams Crossing, turned left up Columbia. And that's where the name Adams Crossing comes from, and we're happy to see the name return. Right?
Thank you, Mr. McFarland. At this point, I'd like to bring Commissioner Sally Clark up to the podium.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know we have so many people here that we probably neglected a few. I know that I saw Councilman Jay Rohr here. I don't know if former Mayor Mark Snyder is here as well, but there's so many people that have played an integral part of what we're here to celebrate today. One of the people that I wanted to specifically mention, and she couldn't make it today, is former Mayor of Manitou Springs and State Representative Marcy Morrison. In about 2004, I was running for County Commissioner in my first term, and she got me up to Amanda's Fonda and sat down with me and said, we really need to look at doing something about this stretch of roadway. And it's been neglected for too many years. And so that was the first really, I think, discussion that I remember getting into when I noticed how bad this roadway was and what a poor connection between Old Colorado City and Manitou it was at that time. So then we started discussing as part of Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments, and Marcy was serving with me at that time on the board. She basically and I talked about how we could get this collaboration going. So look back to 2004, and here we are to 2016, and we're just breaking ground today. These things take a lot of time. I've worked with city council people, Jerry Heimlicher, Larry Small, Lisa Salatko, among others, and now Keith King and Merv Bennett have really been champions, as well as Don Knight, for this area. There are a lot of people that have turned over through the years, but we're still here, and we're still moving on the road to success. So today, the area serves more than 23,000 vehicles per day. It provides access to 75 businesses and is a gateway for more than 4 million visitors per year. This critical initial infrastructure that is part of this project will set the stage, and we're gonna, at some point, and I think today is the day, that we get rid of the term no man's land. Let's give that a round of applause. The reason is because today it's everyone's land. Everyone is taking ownership. Everyone that's here today is taking ownership of this project. And whether it's law enforcement, Sheriff Elder, Chief Carey, Manitou Springs, Chief Ribeiro, or whether it's all of us who drive this and are looking for better transportation and a more aesthetically pleasing gateway from Manitou to Old Colorado City in Colorado Springs, we've all taken that ownership. I don't know how many of you remember the TV series The A-Team, but I do. As a kid, growing up, I remembered watching that, and I always remember, I love it when a plan comes together. And today, a plan has come together, and we're all moving in the right direction on the road to success. Thank you all for being here. I'm really excited that El Paso County could be part of this, but things don't happen in a vacuum, and they don't happen without the help of folks that come to the table to look for not just problems, but the solutions to get them done. The neighborhoods, the historians, I see Colonel Dave Hughes sitting here. Dave has been around a long time, and we've worked on a lot of projects, but he was integral in getting Old Colorado City redeveloped when Mayor Bob Isaac and Leon Young were on the city council. So those of us in elected office may come and go, and I know that our new commissioner, Stan Vanderwerf, who couldn't be here today, sends his approval of this project and enthusiasm, but those of us will come and go, but the project is going to continue. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to those who've worked over the years to make this a success, and it's going to be great to see this plan come together. Many thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. At this time, I'd like to bring the board chair up, City Board Chair Merv Bennett. Councilman Bennett, there you are.
Thanks, Jim. I also would like to introduce Larry Bagley. Larry, where are you? Raise your hand. There he is, Councilman Larry Bagley, who's here joining with us. I'm honored to have him here. You know, this is an example of how working together we can get the impossible done. You know, just think about this. El Paso County couldn't have done this by themselves. It's not their total jurisdiction. Colorado Springs couldn't do it by themselves. CDOT certainly couldn't have done it by itself. Manitou could have got some of it done, but not all of it. So sometimes you just need to sit down, work out the details, and work in partnership. And that's what this has done. This is a great example of how elected officials and agency representatives can work together on critical multi-jurisdictional infrastructures that will benefit the communities and the region. This has been a collaborative process with commitments made at the highest level from each of the jurisdictions that I mentioned, including Colorado Springs Utilities, because we couldn't do it without Colorado Springs Utilities either. These jurisdictions were involved to come to the table and work together on a plan that will benefit citizens, business, tourists, and traveling public for years to come. I've used this as an example. Irving Halbert wrote a history of the Pikes Peak region, and if you read his book, it tells you that the first settlement in the Pikes Peak region didn't happen in Colorado Springs or Old Colorado City or Manitou. It happened right where Camp Creek comes into Fountain Creek, which is at 31st and Highway 24. This has been an issue for a long time, so that just puts some perspective into it, but we're going to fix it. And this is something that's critical to each one of the jurisdictions. Everybody, it's a critical issue. And so on behalf of the City Council, behalf of Mayor Suthers, we just thank you for being here, and thank you, and on behalf of Colorado Springs Utilities, thank you for this partnership, because it just proves that no matter how hard the project is, it can be accomplished if we work together as partners. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to 2 years from now when we can all celebrate this project being completed. Thank you.
At this time, the Manitou Mayor, Mayor Nicoletta.
All right, good to be here. Thank you so much. So I echo everything that everybody's already said in terms of collaboration and the importance of the region working together. I know we all sort of have a special place in our heart for your own team, right? And I'm all about Manitou Springs Public Services, City Council, staff, and business. I mean, they're just an incredible group of people, and we certainly couldn't do it without them. But it's also just gets amplified when we do it on a regional level. And that's what's so exciting about this. And as a new mayor, it's been awesome to meet so many people. It's been great to see the process take place. And so I'm thankful for that. The piece that I want to just mention briefly that I think is so huge for Manitou Springs, two things. Number one, we have a lot of folks who walk this entire corridor, and it is incredibly unsafe in the moment. So I'm very excited for sidewalks, curb and gutter, and great bus stops, right? I mean, we're all about promoting public transportation, and so we need to support folks who need to use that, and we certainly want to make it safe. It's also cool that we're connecting the two historic districts, Old Colorado City and Manitou, but it's also an opportunity to brand Manitou Springs in a new way on its east end in the urban renewal area. It's going to be very exciting to see what that looks like. Our URA is ready to go and take some action. Council's ready. I mean, we're all ready. So it's just going to be wonderful, regardless of your definition of economic development. It's going to boost it one way or another. And it's going to make it safer. It's going to make it beautiful. And who was it? Did you say slow and social? I like that. Right? I think that's going to be good. And I hope that that's exactly what it brings. And just kind of slow down the flow before you come into Manitou and take your time. And as you're going out, relax on your way out as well, too. So kudos to everybody who's been involved in this. It's going to be awesome. And it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
And now a personal friend and fellow veteran, Welling Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the residents and the businesses of the West Side, I bid you all greetings and a well-earned thank you. Okay. Thank you to the cities of Colorado Springs and Manitou Springs for joining with El Paso County in making this a regional effort. Thank you to El Paso County for taking the lead and making this project a reality. This effort started officially in 2006. It actually started before that, but in 2006, a newly elected county commissioner, Sally Clark, met with Colorado Department of Transportation. Hey, Dave Watt, where are you? Raise your hand. Right back there, Dave Watt, CDOT, to help resolve this blighted area. And with past Manitou Springs Mayor Marcy Morrison and Mark Schneider, their unceasing support. Okay. With past council, with Colorado Springs Councilman Lisa Solotko and others, then and now. Okay. El Paso County, Colorado Springs, Manitou Springs, you elected officials, law enforcement, that includes sheriff's office too. Okay. Your leadership and your oversight has ensured that this effort will be a quality infrastructure project. Not a mere Band-Aid, but a true fix to a decades-long problem. Because of your diligence, this project will promote redevelopment in the heart of our region's western tourism corridor. It'll retain our western heritage and also our West Side history, which retired Colonel Hughes makes sure that is never forgotten. Don't get Dave mad, I'll tell you. You don't want him mad at you, okay? It'll revitalize our neighborhood, and it'll make it a better place for us to live, to work, and raise a family. Thank you all to all the hardworking people that made this effort possible. Can I have everyone that worked on this project, public relations, engineering, law enforcement, elected officials going forth, just raise your hand, please? Oh, come on, there's more than that. Cowards, okay. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this project is the linchpin to the revitalization of this western tourism corridor. It's the linchpin to the transformation of no man's land to our land. Thank you.
So on every large project, there's a engineering supervisor and project manager. And if you have any complaints, this is the guy you want to talk to. Dennis Barron.
Thanks, Jim. I just wanted to thank the people that have worked on the design, will build the project, and will oversee the construction. I just want to recognize those firms. For design, we have Felsberg, Holt, and Ulevig, with Steve Murray being the project manager. And they have several consultants that work on the job, which contribute to the overall success of the job, including Lisa Bachman's PR firm, who pulled this whole event together. And we thank Lisa for the great work that she's done and makes this happen. I'd also like to recognize the construction manager for this firm, CH2M Hill. Ken Medina, if you can raise it, will be the man on site. So if you really have any questions on the project, he's the guy to see, not me. Okay. And the contractor, you recognize them all in their yellow vest, very safety conscious. Wildcat Construction, who also provided a piece of equipment for our ceremony here. And they're going to be seeing a lot of challenges on this corridor because of the old infrastructure, the narrow roadway and everything, but they're up to the task and will do a good job. I'd also like to acknowledge our former county engineer, Andre Bracken, who was working on this job, and when he retired, unfortunately, I inherited this job. So thanks, Andre. And also like to thank, and I'll be out of here shortly, but thank our El Paso County staff who set up this. Frank Biggerstaff and his team of workers set up this morning and did a great job there. So, and Ellen Everlow, who coordinated the refreshments. So thanks to everybody. And I'd also like to thank the Garden of Gods RV Resort for allowing us to use their property for the ceremony. So with that, we look forward to getting this project started, and thank you all.
Thank you, Dennis. The Fountain Creek Bridge behind us was originally constructed in 1934 by what was then the Colorado State Highway Department. Last year, citizens and stakeholders of the area named what will be the new bridge Adams Crossing Bridge. This will acknowledge the history of this area of Adams Crossing and will recognize Brigadier General Charles Adams. Before we do the actual groundbreaking, I want to reiterate our appreciation to the Garden of Gods RV Resort for their generosity and hospitality in allowing us to hold the ceremony on their property. And today it's Ian Horgan and Betsy Lauren. Are you here? Thank you very much for allowing us to be here. They've been a collaborative stakeholder throughout the entire design process, and we'll look forward to continue to working closely with them, with all 75 to 100 businesses and property owners along the corridor, as well as with all the citizens of the West Side. Now, thank you for taking your valuable time to come out here today, and let's get this show on the road. Now, one thing my guys have asked you to do is when we break this ground's only a few inches deep. Then you're going to hit rock and leaves because it's that time of the year. So those of you who are going to shovel, please shovel lightly. And if you can't do that, let me know, and we'll replace you. So, please now all join us for the groundbreaking ceremony, photo opportunities and refreshments. Thank you, Ellen. The ceremony will take place at the Midland Trail just behind you to the right here. The Fountain Creek Historic Rock Retaining Wall, Fountain Creek Bridge, Manitou Gateway, Arch, and Manitou Avenue. So, those of you who know you are assigned to shovel, please grab them. And those of you who are not assigned to shovel, please stand behind them and let's support them. So, smiles.